Do you think you've got that from your father?
I think that's probably true, because I think if anything broke, there was always a man, have a look at this, see if you could mend it.
I think corporate relationships are quite different. What the Prince Consort was trying to do was try and say, look, you've got to have a marriage of art. I think that they then split again, and I think that we're gradually coming together.
Have you ever wondered what goes on behind the closed doors of the royal family? What if the truth about their private lives is not what we expected?
I think there were not many people who understood just how broad his interests were and how supportive he was of an astonishingly wide range.
For decades, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were regarded as the epitome of a perfect couple, inseparable and devoted. But in the later years of their marriage, something unexpected happened. What caused Prince Philip to make the surprising decision to live apart from the Queen? Was it a sign of trouble, or was there something more to the story? Prince Philip didn't live with the Queen, and now we know the reason why. Stay with us as we uncover the truth behind this royal mystery. Let's discover. Prince Philip chose to live separately from Queen Elizabeth in his later years for personal reasons. After stepping back from royal duties at 2017, he moved to a quiet life at Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate. This decision was supported by the Queen, as Philip needed peace and solitude after a lifetime of service. Prince Philip was loved and admired for always being there for Queen Elizabeth throughout their time together. Their relationship was founded on deep love and respect, and it endured for many years. However, when Prince Philip grew older, people were surprised to learn that he no longer lived with the Queen at Buckingham Palace. This change sparked a lot of discussion, and many wondered why he made this decision. For a long time, the reason behind this was unclear. Still, eventually, Princess Anne, their daughter, decided to explain why her father chose to live away from the Queen in his later years. Anne said that the decision wasn't because of any problems in their relationship. Instead, it was because Prince Philip wanted a peaceful and quiet life as he grew older. This helped people understand that there was no trouble in the marriage, just a personal choice to find calm in his final years. In the year 2017, something surprising happened that changed things for them. After being together for over 70 years, the couple decided to live apart. The reason for this became clear when Prince Philip, who was 95 years old and about to turn 96, announced that he would stop performing royal duties. Buckingham Palace confirmed that he would no longer attend royal events. Even though he retired, his last official event was in August of 2017, when he was 96 and attended a gathering with the Royal Marines. Although he was no longer performing royal duties, it was said that he might still attend special occasions with the Queen. After retiring, Prince Philip chose not to stay in Buckingham Palace. Instead, he decided to live in a small, quiet house called Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate. This home had an interesting history. It was once the residence of Prince John, the youngest son of King George V and Queen Mary. Prince John had lived there with a nurse because of health problems, and he sadly passed away at the age of 13 in 1919. For Prince Philip, Wood Farm wasn't just a place to live. It was a way to enjoy his later years. He said in an interview when he was 90 years old that he wanted a peaceful life away from the public eye. Even though he worked for a few more years before retiring at 96, the Queen fully supported his decision. She understood how much he had given to the country and respected his wish to have a quiet life. Prince Philip didn't live with the Queen. Now we know the reason why. Princess Anne recently shared the real reason why her father, Prince Philip, chose to live away from the Queen. She explained that it was a personal choice. After dedicating so many years to his royal duties, Prince Philip needed a place to find peace and relaxation. Anne made it clear that the decision wasn't about them being apart, but about her father needing space to enjoy his later years in quiet. She also said that the Queen fully understood and supported Philip's need for solitude and a calm life. When Prince Philip arrived at Sandringham, he was a little surprised to find many staff members waiting for him. He had hoped for a simple, quiet life, but even then, he made the best of it. He found joy in spending his time on activities that brought him happiness. Because of arthritis, he had to stop playing polo, so he started a new hobby, carriage driving. It quickly became one of his favorite ways to relax. However, as time went on, he had to give up this hobby too, as it became difficult for him to manage the horses. Along with his hobbies, he enjoyed painting and reading, especially books about history. Philip also loved having deep, meaningful conversations with close friends and discussing a wide range of topics. Driving was always one of Prince Philip's greatest passions, but in January of 2019, he was involved in a car accident near Sandringham. Fortunately, he wasn't hurt, but 2 people in the other vehicle had minor injuries. Prince Philip later apologized for what had happened, and just 3 weeks after the accident, he decided to surrender his driver's license. While he could no longer drive on public roads, he was still seen driving on private property, including at Windsor Castle, in April of 2019. What started as a short stay at Wood Farm soon became a permanent choice. Philip never returned to Buckingham Palace, knowing that if he did, he might feel compelled to resume his royal duties. Instead, he fully embraced the peaceful life he had long desired. Although this meant that he and Queen Elizabeth spent long periods apart, they remained close, talking on the phone every day and keeping each other updated. Even though they were physically apart, their bond remained as strong as ever, showing that their connection had not weakened over the years. The Queen, along with other members of the royal family, visited Philip regularly. Despite stepping back from his royal responsibilities, Philip still attended key royal events. After Princess Anne reflected on her father's life, one could wonder if his ongoing health challenges played a role in his decision to live away from the Queen. Did his health struggles have an impact on his choice to live without her by his side? In October of 2011, Prince Philip had to cancel a planned overnight trip to Italy for the launch of the ARC Green Pilgrimage Network because he caught a cold. This came shortly after he had completed a busy 11-day royal tour of Australia with the Queen, visiting cities like Perth, Melbourne, Canberra, and Brisbane. Some people suggested that this might be the couple's last trip to Australia due to their age, but Buckingham Palace quickly denied these rumors, saying it wasn't a goodbye tour. However, just a few weeks later, Prince Philip, who was 90 years old at the time, had to be rushed to the hospital by helicopter from Sandringham as the royal family was preparing for Christmas. He had been experiencing chest pains, and doctors found that he had a blocked artery. He underwent a heart procedure called coronary stenting, which is a minimally invasive way to treat blocked arteries. During his 4-day hospital stay, which meant he had to spend both Christmas and Boxing Day in the hospital, the Queen, along with their children and grandchildren, visited him. After being discharged from the hospital, Prince Philip seemed to be in good spirits and was even walking about 400 meters from the main house to attend the New Year's Day church service at Sandringham. However, as he grew older, concerns about his health intensified. He began to cancel more royal engagements and needed hospital care more often. In June of 2012, during the Queen's Diamond Jubilee celebrations, Prince Philip became ill and had to miss most of the events. He was hospitalized for several days due to a bladder infection, which caused him to miss both the Jubilee concert and the Thanksgiving service. The day before he fell ill, he had participated in the Jubilee River pageant, where he rode along the Thames, with a large group of boats in rainy and windy weather. Doctors later stated that the weather conditions, combined with possibly not taking sufficient restroom breaks, may have exacerbated his condition. He was released from the hospital just before his 91st birthday. In August of 2012, Prince Philip was again admitted to the hospital, this time spending 5 nights in the Aberdeen Royal Infirmary due to another bladder infection. This occurred during the royal family's usual summer stay at Balmoral, in Aberdeenshire. As a result, Prince Philip was unable to attend the opening ceremony of the London Paralympic Games. By May of 2014, Prince Philip underwent a minor procedure on his right hand at Buckingham Palace. After the procedure, he was seen with a bandage on his hand, but he continued with his official duties as planned. Later that year, on October 28th, at the age of 93, he was seen wearing hearing aids for the first time during a reception at Buckingham Palace. Just before his 95th birthday, in June of 2016, Prince Philip decided to step back from attending the Battle of Jutland anniversary events after being advised to rest by his doctors. His son-in-law, Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, explained that Philip was dealing with a minor ailment. However, Philip still joined the Queen for her official birthday celebrations that same month. Even though he had turned 95 that weekend, he stayed by her side through a busy schedule, including a service of Thanksgiving, the Trooping the Colour parade, and a large street party on the Mall. Right before Christmas in 2016, both the Queen and Prince Philip caught severe colds, which caused a 1-day delay in their trip to Sandringham. While the Queen was too ill to attend either the Christmas Day or New Year's Day church services, Prince Philip was well enough to attend both services. On April 9th, the royal family shared the sad news that Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, had passed away at the age of 99. They announced that he had passed away peacefully that morning at Windsor Castle. His death followed a stay of 28 days in the hospital, where he had been treated for an infection. During his hospital stay, Prince Philip underwent a medical procedure to address an existing heart condition. However, when the official death certificate was released, it stated that there was no specific cause of death listed other than his old age. The certificate was signed by Sir Hugh Thomas, the head of the royal medical team. At the time, Buckingham Palace issued a formal statement in which Queen Elizabeth expressed her deep sorrow at the passing of her beloved husband. Their 4 children, Princes Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward, paid tribute to their father, and many of his grandchildren also honored him with heartfelt messages. Prince Philip's funeral took place on Saturday, April 17th, at St. George's Chapel in Windsor. This same chapel had been the site of the weddings of his grandchildren, Prince Harry and Princess Eugenie, to Meghan Markle and Jack Brooksbank in 2018. Originally, the funeral had been planned to accommodate nearly 800 guests. Still, due to COVID-19 restrictions, the ceremony was limited to just 30 people. The event was broadcast for the public to view. During the funeral, Queen Elizabeth sat alone in her pew as social distancing measures were in place. Buckingham Palace had announced that everyone attending the service would have to sit 2 meters apart, unless they were from the same household. Following the funeral, the royal family entered a period of official mourning that lasted 2 weeks. The national plan for handling Prince Philip's death was called Operation Forth Bridge, named after the famous bridge near Edinburgh, which was connected to his title. However, some parts of the plan were adjusted to meet COVID-19 safety protocols, as confirmed later by the College of Arms. As soon as Prince Philip passed away, the royal operation plan was set into motion. Buckingham Palace promptly issued an official press release, which was sent simultaneously to both the BBC and PA media. This step followed a consultation between the Lord Chamberlain and the Queen. The plan also included informing countries within the Commonwealth. In Australia, where Queen Elizabeth was the head of state, it was the responsibility of Governor-General David Hurley to notify both the government and the public. Upon the announcement of his death, flags across the United Kingdom were lowered to half-mast. They remained in this position for the entire national mourning period, which ended at 8 a.m. the day after the funeral. All Union flags and national flags followed the protocol, and the government instructed that other flags, such as military or pride flags, should be replaced by the Union flag flown at half-mast. However, at Windsor Castle, the royal standard remained at full mast, as it represents the presence of the reigning monarch. In the House of Commons, members of Parliament wore black ties and black armbands on their left arms as a sign of respect and mourning. These gestures are traditional symbols of grief. During the official mourning period, which lasted for 8 days, no new laws were passed in Parliament as a mark of respect. At 6 p.m. on April 9th, the tenor bell of Westminster Abbey rang. It tolled once every minute for 99 minutes, honoring each year of Prince Philip's life. This ringing is known as the death knell, a ritual that has been observed during the funerals of significant royal figures. The first time Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip met was in the year 1934, at the wedding of Princess Marina of Greece and Denmark and Prince George, Duke of Kent. At the time, Philip was only 13 years old, and Elizabeth was just 8 years old. Back then, no one expected her to become queen. It wasn't until Elizabeth turned 10 that she became the heir to the throne after her uncle Edward VIII stepped down as king to marry the woman he loved. As the saying goes, the best things in life come when you least expect them. Little did they know, this early meeting would set the stage for a lifetime together. Both Elizabeth and Philip were third cousins, as they were both related to Queen Victoria. Their paths crossed again in the year 1939, when Philip was 18 and training as a young Navy cadet. He was chosen to show 13-year-old Princess Elizabeth around the Royal Navy College in Dartmouth. That day marked the beginning of a deep connection between them. According to historian Tina Brown, this was the moment their love story truly started. Queen Elizabeth II would spend the entire 70-year length of her reign with Philip by her side, a love story that began when they were young children and continued until the day Philip passed away in April of 2021. That visit in 1939 left a strong impact on Elizabeth, and it was there that her feelings for Philip started to grow. She was just 13, and he was 18. But the bond between them was already forming. Afterward, Elizabeth told her father, King George VI, that Philip was the only man I could ever love. 8 years later, in the year 1947, they got engaged. The official announcement of their engagement was made on July 9th of that year. Tina Brown shared that Philip proposed to Elizabeth at Balmoral Castle, a royal estate in Scotland where Queen Elizabeth would later pass away. The engagement ring was made using diamonds from a tiara that had once belonged to Philip's mother. At first, the royal family had doubts about Philip being a suitable match for Elizabeth. He was born in Greece and had a difficult upbringing. His father, Prince Andrew of Greece, and his mother, Princess Alice of Battenberg, were forced into exile when Philip was just 18 months old. Despite these struggles, the royal family eventually accepted him. Just 4 months after their engagement, Elizabeth and Philip were married on November 20th, 1947, at Westminster Abbey in London. Elizabeth became the 10th royal to marry in that famous church, and their wedding was a historic event, as it was the first royal wedding ever to be televised. Shortly after their marriage, Princess Elizabeth and Prince Philip began building the future of the royal family by having children. In November of 1948, just before their first anniversary, they welcomed their first son, Charles. 2 years later, in the year 1950, they had their second child, a daughter named Anne. She held the title of Princess Anne until the year 1987, when her mother, Queen Elizabeth, granted her the distinguished title of Princess Royal. After Elizabeth's coronation in 1953, she gave birth to another son, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, in the year 1960. Their last child, Edward, was born in 1964, completing their family of 4. As their family grew, their relationship and responsibilities continued to evolve, marking a new phase in their lives. Queen Elizabeth's journey to becoming queen is marked by a unique moment in history. Her reign officially began with the death of her father, King George VI, in February of 1952. He passed away peacefully in his sleep, and it is believed that the news reached Queen Elizabeth sometime during the night while she was in Africa. Prince Philip was the first to learn of the news and calmly informed Elizabeth, though the loss deeply affected her. Despite this, she remained composed, returning to the lodge with Philip. Her coronation, held in June of 1953, took place more than a year after she had become queen. During her coronation speech, she expressed heartfelt gratitude for the public's support. She vowed to serve her people to the best of her abilities. As Queen Elizabeth's reign began, significant decisions needed to be made, particularly regarding the royal family's name. Philip suggested adopting the name House of Edinburgh, while others, including Prime Minister Winston Churchill, pushed for keeping the House of Windsor. Eventually, in 1952, Elizabeth announced that the royal family would remain in the House of Windsor, although this decision frustrated Philip. In 1960, the surname Mountbatten-Windsor was introduced for descendants of Philip and Elizabeth who did not hold royal titles. Over the years, Prince Philip played an active and supportive role in his wife's reign. He participated in numerous royal events and assumed significant responsibilities, including chairing the Coronation Commission. Prince Philip was also involved in charity work. He was passionate about several causes, such as the environment, youth welfare, and education. He was the first president of the World Wildlife Fund, leading the organization from 1961 to 1982. His dedication to charity and public service continued throughout his life. His work left a lasting impact on many causes and organizations. As we uncover the truth behind Prince Philip's decision to live apart from the Queen, it raises a bigger question. How well do we really know the lives of those we admire from afar? Could there be more hidden stories in the royal family that we still don't understand? If this story made you think, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think there's more to this royal mystery? Let us know what you think.